What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be looking at these 10 tracks and I'm going to be showing you every single shortcut on them. So first, let's head down onto Mount Wario, which will be our first track, and then we'll work our way down. So first we have Mount Wario, which has several shortcuts. So the first one right here, you just want to drift into a blue mini turbo and trick off of this ramp, and that'll be the first shortcut completed, and you should get a few places ahead. Now the second shortcut is just off of here, so trick off of this and then go in between these trees and use a mushroom, and you'll get one single item box if you're playing a normal race. Now the final shortcut is right at the very end. We can use a mushroom to do this one, because if you don't use a mushroom then you'll literally fail this one. So use a mushroom and then drift into the finish line, and then Mount Wario is complete. So now we have Squeaky Clean Sprint, which only has one shortcut and it spawns on the second lap. So for this shortcut you actually need to go off of the ramp and you have to go onto the top of the toilet where the water's coming out of the spout, and you have to go on top of it, and you'll see there's a second path that's actually above the normal path, and that path is like quite faster than the bottom path, so you actually get a few places ahead. Now for the next track here, Yoshi Circuit. Everybody knows this shortcut, but I'm going to make it clear. We have the waterfall one, so you just use the mushroom through it and then drift onto the other side. Now the next one is a little bit more harder. So you do an orange mini turbo and hop when you reach this brown line, and then you can skip this whole part of the track. Then the next one, just do a drift into a blue mini turbo and hop over this grass segment. And then the final one, do one more hop with a blue mini turbo and don't touch the grass like I did. Now we're on to DK Jungle, which has two shortcuts. So for this one you want to just drift left off of here onto his glider panel and then take these boosts to get extra speed. Then for the final shortcut, just take this left right here, then trick off here, which is very generic, but still get that extra placement. Now for Cheese Land, this shortcut's really simple. Just take a mushroom and go through this block of cheese, and it's so simple, it doesn't require any skill, and you can get a few placements up. Now again for this one, it's so simple. Just take another mushroom and go onto this glider panel, and then it's so simple, like you can get extra placements for just having mushrooms. Now for the last one, just go on this extra glider panel, but I didn't have a mushroom, so you can also hop if you want to, but it's slow if you hop, so it's a mushroom of course every single time, and you can get that first place really easily. Now moving on to Cloudtop Cruise. Cloudtop Cruise only has one shortcut, but one thing to point out is they have to drift onto the Ganon glider and then release the mini turbo as soon as you let go, so you get that extra speed boost in the air. Now moving on to the actual shortcut, which is at the very end. It's so generic, but just drift onto here and take the mushroom, or you could do it shroomously, however you like it, and you can get a few places up. Now moving on to Coconut Mall. The first shortcut is right after the stairs, and you have to be really careful. So you gotta use a mushroom, and then as soon as you go inside of the shop, you gotta turn left as soon as you can, because else you'll hit the wall and you will not complete the shortcut, and then you'll literally fail the race. Now the final shortcut and the most important shortcut on Coconut Mall, which is at the very end, where you have to take the top path, which is the glider ramp path, and you have to use two mushrooms, at least two. If you don't have two, then the shortcut will not be possible. So once you get off the glider ramp, you need to lean back on your L stick, and then you need to use those two mushrooms, and then you need to take your L stick and lean it to the right, so you can land at a perfect angle, so you can get the high position in the race, and then you can win the race or get a high position. And even if you don't have a mushroom, you can do the shortcut shroomously like I did right here, and then I cut off this part of the sidewalk and I still done the shortcut without using a mushroom. So it's still doable, but you just need to practice it a lot. And if you go too far to the right in this shortcut and try to cut off the whole entire parking lot, sadly Lakitu is going to pick you up. But if Lakitu wasn't there, then like, it would be insane this shortcut, but you know, you can't do it. You have to play by the rules. Thanks, Nintendo. And now moving on to DK Mountain, which has really good shortcuts, but the first one is the most important shortcut of them all. And this shortcut, you have to either do a right drift or just turn right. If you do a right drift, you have enough momentum, but if you turn right, you need to use a mushroom. So for the momentum, just turn right over here and use a mushroom, and you can go on top of these rocks right here and skip the whole part of this track right over here. And this is really hard shortcut. This shortcut is not really easy to pull off, so you need to practice it a lot, because it took me a lot of tries to get this shortcut. So don't be sad if you don't get it the first time. even though this is the most best shortcut I would say like on the whole game. Now this shortcut is really good. So this is the gap jump shortcut. So when you jump off right over here, you can skip this whole entire segment of the track. And this shortcut isn't really that hard, but you need to practice it a few times, because sometimes you might fail and end up like this, or sometimes you'll do it and end up like this. So yeah, just practice this one a lot and hopefully you'll do it good. Now moving on to Mario Circuit, which has one insane shortcut at the very end. So for this shortcut, just take a mushroom through these trees right over here and go on this glider ramp, and then head on over onto the top of these blocks, and then just drift off of the edge onto the other part of the track. And this is a huge shortcut which skips a very large segment of the track. It's really hard to do, and sometimes you end up like this, or sometimes you end up like this. So I mean, you gotta practice this one a lot of time, because for me it took me lots and lots of tries to do this. So don't be ashamed of yourself if you don't get it the first time, but if you get it constantly, you should do it all the time. But I don't recommend to do it on online servers, because you might lose your points, because it doesn't work all the time, as you know, you might mess it up sometimes, but try your best. Now for our final track, Rainbow Road, just go over here, use the spin boost pillar and jump off the track on this part, and then on the next part jump off the track right over here, and that's really it. And then there's an extra part at the very end. So instead of using the outer lane, you should always use the inner lane. Even the outer lane might look faster because it has all those boost pads, the inner lane is actually faster because, well, it's inside, and inside is always faster than the outside, and you'll actually win the race instead of using the boost pads. If you want to see more Mario Kart videos like this, comment down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.